to wait for people to come back in. I think we are live. I don't know whether all of them streams that are sent out might have to be going out again. Anyone let us know if I'm streaming? Am I back? Can anyone see? 2 people watching. See, why is this tagged? I've got the bloody tag back again already. Can you guys hear us in? There you go. It's still showing no viewers. I don't know what's going on with me streaming thing. It's a bit weird. But we are back. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much, Rob. Okay, wait for everybody else. Give them a chance to come back in again. Sorry about that, everyone. I don't know what happened. PC just went black screened. So I'm back. Only says there's one person listening. I don't know whether I have to send that thing back out again.
Have you restarted the stream, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, I had to. It won't let me go back to that same stream.
No.
Once it crashes. Thank you very much. Danger. Good day. It's only showing 1 viewer on the thing, so I don't know how many people are in.
No, it's fine. People are slowly starting to come over.
If I go on that other stream though, is it the same stream? No, it's not. It's a different stream. Live, 12 people watching. Let me see whether that's the stream. Am I on the right stream there now? 12 people.
I wonder if the original stream is actually still streaming.
Yeah, the
if
original
there's people over there.
The original one had flat Earth on it. This one hasn't. It's closed it down because it had flat Earth tag on it. This one's not got a flat Earth tag, although we will be discussing Modus Tollens arguments. We keep
how does that equal to YouTube flat Earth?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know whether it goes down to because all it is, it's titled Brenda's BS, Modus Tollens, Hot Potato on the level discussions. I mean, I don't know. There's
nothing about flat Earth. No. There's no mention. So
unless we're
it would be interesting
about it now, just to,
Well, I don't know, but if anybody knows out there how they determine what they put that, is it just a computer algorithm? Are there people out there reporting these videos? What is it?
Them, though, can you? I don't know. Unless there's some special YouTube ambassadors that sort of point at streams and go, that one.
Well, think about on Twitter. Now you've got like the community notes.
Yeah. This one's still got the same title and everything though, so there may be a little bit of a hiccup, a mix-up. There was 20 odd people watching earlier, so we're a little bit behind. We've lost a few, but that's perhaps for the best, because we're going to upset a few people today. We thought that the Earth not being flat was a bad argument for certain people. This one's all about a certain it was classed as a flat Earth proof. I mean, I think it still says. Yeah, I think you have to go Erd Bay. I think you go to it's a different stream. You should be able to get there. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to. You're in here. You get it live. Discord's the best place. You don't miss any of it from Discord.
You've got some fuzz on your microphone again.
Fuzz.
Yeah.
Let me see. No, I don't know. I can't help that. Sorry, that's through
Okay.
Discord. There's
Yeah, it must
there is
be.
another filter through to YouTube. What's it sound like through YouTube? Does it sound okay? I do have an extra filter to stop it. I don't know what's going on with Discord's playing about with it a bit. It wouldn't let Bloods come back in earlier.
Actually, it doesn't sound that bad on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's because the streaming thing's got an extra filter to go for the YouTubers.
Cool.
So, yeah, okay. Is there not? Rob says there's no FE tag on either of the streams. So let me just check. Might have just been on my end then. We just. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Good. That'll do. Well, we're not flat earthers anyway, right? So we're going to go back now a fair few years into the time when QE was developing Modus Tollens were far too complicated for the likes of anybody to understand. Because it seems like nobody really has got the gist of the argument and formulating arguments, modus tollens, modus ponens. So, for starters, I think I've got this. Ooh, let me screen 2. This was something we did when we went to Nathan Oakley's quite a bit ago. 2 years I've got. Let me just check. This is a quick 5-minute video that I made 2 years ago. It's only 200 and odd views.
You sharing it with us as well?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I will. I'll share it with you guys in Discord.
Oh, don't don't go to any trouble for us.
Okay. So, you'll hear a few familiar voices from the past, but this is one of the rare times that we did go over to have a word with Nathan, with a little bit of music in the background, right? So, 5 minutes. I don't know whether we need to pause it. Perhaps we might need to pause it just to go over a few of these things, but have a listen.
No, I don't doubt it.
They're going to need the geometric horizon, which is they don't have.
Yeah, just saying there is still always an argument from a globe trencher's point of view, and that is the argument that they'll have. I already know. They've already had it. I've already had it with them on other occasions, so I know what their argument will be in terms of juxtaposition in false dichotomy, if you want a nice long title for it.
But I understand what they're going to say. Well, there's standard refraction because that's based on their ore. But where is the geometric horizon in this photograph to give them the standard refraction? It's not there.
You know, we do have a geometric horizon, though. It's horizontal. Right?
Cleary?
Hey, what's up? We do have a horizontal geometric horizon that we see. You know, we don't see a curved sphere edge.
That's true.
But it is geometric. It's optical.
Okay, if you like. You can utilise it in that manner. You're assuming the Earth's a flat plane when you do so.
Yeah, it's parallel planes, you know, with elevation. But
The horizon visual thing.
Yeah, horizontal is a geometric term, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, but then you're assuming the Euclidean in the first
that's
instance.
just the definition of horizontal. Parallel with the plane of the horizon. Horizontal's perpendicular to vertical. They're both straight lines. I mean, that's geometric.
It is assuming Euclidean geometry.
It's not. Horizontal isn't assuming Euclidean geometry. It's a straight line. Straight lines are straight.
Well, let's reword
Hold
it.
on,
It's
he's right. He's right.
exclusively
Hold on.
non-Euclidean
Hold on.
geometry.
He's right. He's got me. You're right. I'll have to concede there. You're right, Bev. It's not even being pedantic. You're absolutely correct. I don't have to assume anything Euclidean. I'm just so used to the assumptions that are made and having someone play devil's advocate as a fundy. I'm wired that way. But you are right. No, it's just horizontal. Why do I need to assume anything? You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. The way we describe the space that we're in, I'm sorry, Nathan. The way we describe the space that we're in is Euclidean 3 space, right? X, Y, and Z, Cartesian coordinates. That's how you survey. That's how you measure elevation based on a horizontal.
That's great.
It's just a position of even altitude. In reality, it's used by everybody, and everybody understands a horizontal reference, right? And they all understand the vertical. Horizontal and vertical are perpendicular to each other. I mean, that's a geometric fact of reality. Nobody needs to go around that. I don't think anyone is willing to argue that horizontal isn't a straight line either. So,
Indeed.
yeah. The distance is a measured horizontal distance from A to B. Now, they had Blackpool Tower along the way there. So they had a vertical distance of the mountain and a vertical height of Blackpool Tower. Now, those two verticals in their drawing, using the trigonometry that they used, were both right angles. They were both right lines, which would have made them parallel to each other. It's the only way triangles work in reality. That's the basis of surveying. I mean, that's what we've been doing all this time. It's just trying to base on, is level horizontal or is there a curve? Loads of people say there's a curve. It appears Ranty now thinks that horizontal baseline has a drop to it. I don't know how that occurred from looking at a picture, but yeah, it's horizontal and the vertical.
Insanity.
What is going on?
knows willing ignorance. He's just playing around.
Yeah, I think he's trolling them. I think, seriously.
I think he's trolling them.
This is as though he's leading them into this conversation right now. What Ranty has to do now is explain: is there a drop or is there a hump? Which of the globe earthers is he? With the water level dropping from your position, or the water level humping in between the two ends of your water level? Like, you know, that's the age-old baller paradox. Ballers don't want to do it. I think they've pushed Ranty up to have a go at it. It's going to be fun times.
Yeah, I think he just likes to steal people's money. I don't want to say that, but it just adds up. You know, I don't like judging people, but when they show what they're doing, it's not really judgment. It's just saying what they're doing. He started, you know, with the fear mongering last year with this. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into it really, but I knew from the get-go I didn't watch the dude. But as soon as I watched him, it was like, oh my God, why is he on Nathan's show at all? And then I was glad to see him go.
Dumbass. He's incoherent. He has no science acumen to speak of. He thinks because he's gone out and taken pictures, he's like some flat earth guru or something. He's a delusional Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit. I'm glad he's over there. Stay, please.
So, there's video number 1 to go over. Nathan Oakley concedes the horizon being horizontal is geometric, because horizontal being a straight line is geometric. So the horizon is geometric in the fact that it is horizontal. Not going to get away from that. Remember that at the beginning of all of this, because we're about to go over a Modus Tollens that was initiated a fair bit ago. Don't know where should we go through it? Like, how many times should we go through it? Let's. I don't know, Rob. True dichotomy.
Well, yeah, Black Swan. I mean,
Right, here we go. It took quite a bit, didn't it? Okay, so we've got this Nathan Oakley from the other day going over because Brenda did a video with Jared. We went over a bit of it last night, and this is another part. Rob put us onto it yesterday. Brenda and the Black Swan. Well, I mean, we'll go over the whole thing, I think. It's about time. Good day, Boris. So we did some gifs of Brenda from last night. So this is Brenda's Tis Globe, reciprocal zenith angles. Now Brenda is now in possession of the BS, the Black Swan. For the rest of the night, we'll just call it BS, right? Brenda now has the BS. She's taken possession of it away from. Well, I think Nathan handed it to him. Said, "There you go, take it, love. Be off with you. We don't need this. It's rubbish anyway." And we've got the horizontal geometric horizon. Like, why do we need this useless BS Modus Tollens that QE did a few years ago? Right, so I mean, it might take us a little bit to get it. You guys still on it in Discord? Let me get this over here. Screen 2. There we go. Right, so I'll stop it when we get to do this. Go over Brenda's BS now.
Whatever it is you're punting your book, I'm sure everyone will buy it. Okay, I've already put the link. It's still floating by. You can see it there in the live stream chat. Right, so please let Jaron know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a positive comment that hopefully won't be immediately removed because you're very rude about how we've behaved towards this discussion.
Okay, so like Nathan does that, please remember, I will put this link to this video. Sure, I'll put it in the chat. Live. Where is it? There you go. I'll put it in the oh. Right, so this is the link for Nathan Oakley. This is the video. Please leave a comment and very nicely and respectfully to say that you've been sent to Nathan Oakley from Try Thinking channel, like Nathan did. So we'll go back to this one. Yep. No. Must be this one over here. Okay. So like Nathan did. Please be respectful to Nathan Oakley when you're talking to the Flat Earthers. They're going to be a little bit touchy at the minute. Nathan's handed away the BS. I don't know whether QE was aware of it. I don't know if QE was around at the time. But we'll go. Here we go.
I second.
I believe.
I think it's... The Black Swan is logically fallacious. That's my claim.
Okay.
Negating its claim to falsify the curvature of the Earth. The Black Swan, let me see here, and let me share screen. share. This is John's formulation. I assume it's official. It says if the Earth.
Okay, is everyone's aware of this particular argument? I don't know how many people have ever used it in combat. Has anybody here in the Discord channel ever managed to successfully use this argument in combat with anyone?
I haven't.
No. Paper. Anyone? What about type 1 in the chat if you've ever successfully used the Black Swan, or even attempted to unsuccessfully use this particular argument, because it was claimed for over a year to be the #1 flat Earth argument, proof of flat Earth. You will hear it supposedly got rid of the radius. I don't know. I don't really. Oh, Twad Wazzles used it. Well done. That sounds like right. So the argument states, because he goes through it. Holy shnikes. This is going to leave a mark, says QE. If P, then Q. The standard notation for arguments. Not Q, therefore not P. That's the standard form for Modus Tollens arguments, is the negative, the not. So you have to falsify the Q statement, and then you can then work your way back to the P statement once you've falsified the Q statement. We'll get into that into the break. We'll just go over it to let everybody know. Now, this isn't a bashing for any particular reason. This is just a going over of an argument. This is what arguments are meant for and the discussion surrounding them. I've tried to talk to QE about this. I've tried to talk to a lot of people about it. It's very difficult because people have their own ideas about it, and that's what the discussion about it tonight is. So Brenda's going to go over it in a bit, but I'll state it here now, right? It says this is a formulation made by either a QE or Adam Meakin, or a conglomeration of a few different people within the formulation of Modus Tollens. But the P statement: if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, that's your P, then is like a mind your P's and Q's, which we have a t-shirt from Emma that was said to QE for this very statement. He says, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of observer's height in feet, Q. Geometric horizon curve calculators, for some reason. Not really part of the argument. It then says, not Q, horizon distance greater than 9.41 miles, therefore not P. And then it says the Earth is not a sphere, big capital letters. Now the Modus Tollens states not Q, therefore not P. Well, the P in this statement is the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles. QE has left at the bottom there. Earth is not a sphere. He seems to have missed out. the rest of the P statement.
He is missing the radius number, because in fact he is, by denying Q, he is denying P. But what is relevant in Q? In Q, he is stating the consequence of that number, that radius. So he is denying this radius only, not
And-
shape.
But that's an average, isn't it? The 3959, they'll tell you. That's an average.
Maybe, but in argument,
Yes.
this is what he is denying.
Yes.
So Earth is not a sphere is non sequitur, because he should say that Earth is not a sphere with that radius.
Well,
that would be correct.
Yeah, it should be. The Earth is not a sphere with radius of 3959 miles. To be
Yes.
a correct argument, right? But
yeah,
that's to fulfill the actual writing of the argument, right? So what would you call that? A technical fault? Like, it's a rather big fault, because your P's don't match with the P and
Yeah.
not P.
Yes, because in fact, predication, we have noun, Earth, and predication, sphere with a radius, not if the Earth is a sphere. If the Earth is a sphere, that would be something else. But we have predication, sphere with a radius. This is our predication in P, in a conditional. So he is denying predication. It means sphere with a radius, with number. So in fact, he is denying the very number.
Yeah, the number that he put in the P.
Yeah, so with that big letters, he should write Earth has not that radius. That would be correct conclusion. Or Earth is not a sphere with that radius. But it would suffice if he wrote the Earth has not this radius. It has to be much, much longer radius. That would be correct.
Right, so it just doesn't need to be. This argument falsifies one number.
Yeah.
And it doesn't falsify a half-inch difference from that one number. It just falsifies that one number.
Yeah.
Technically. But the next point is the follow on from the mind your P's and Q's within the first part of the argument. So if the Earth is a sphere with a radius, then every horizon distance measurement, is somebody assuming that if the Earth has a sphere of a certain radius, then you can measure the distance to the horizon? Because you can't measure the distance to a horizon in reality. So how can we check that the Q actually follows the P?
He should say then every horizon distance calculated.
Yeah, not measurement.
Not measured.
So there's another problem. And it says it must be. And this will come up. 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Why must it be that? What does that mean?
He is making shortcut, and he shouldn't, because this is at given height. So because his picture is, as I remember, 5 feet above sea level, I think. But this is not full, let's say, equation. So I wouldn't know without previous knowledge what he's talking about.
Exactly. So this is why nobody's ever actually used this argument, and why Nathan Oakley, I think, is so readily palming it off. They have no need for it. It's too difficult to explain to people. They don't need it anymore. Nathan's getting rid of it. It's rubbish. They can't talk about it. The Q doesn't actually follow the P, and the not P doesn't relate to the original P at the beginning. So the not P isn't the P that he stated at the beginning. So it's just Brenda's sort of right in saying this is a fallacious argument. That one person I think we've got that has only ever used this argument. Now I've got a couple of videos explaining it and going over it, but I don't know how many people actually understand this argument. We've got a better one, but that's not what we're about here. This is about this particular argument. Stated, can anybody else see any other problems with it before we carry on? They might show themselves in a bit, but because of this, because of the fallacies within this argument, there will never be a lemma to be made from this that can then lead you into new areas. This was a full stop within logic and argumentation, within the methods of argumentation and everything. I think this argument, whilst was purported to be good by a load of people that are just plumping up a really shit argument, which they've done again with the sextant, right? They've done a similar sort of thing, except they never had to come up with modus tollens or modus ponens for the sextant argument. So there is no argument for the sextant. Right, so here we go. Brenda's going to have a discussion now with Nathan Oakley.
To the sphere of the radius, and every horizon distance must be no more than 1.22 square root of the geometric horizon.
Could you at least attempt to read it properly rather than stuttering our way through it?
This first premise is false.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
See, now I don't know what Brenda was saying. The first premise is false. But I don't know why Nathan replied with that either. That's just a automated response from Nathan at this point, I think.
I would say that Nathan's reaction is, I would say, correct. But Brenda's refutation of premise shows that Brenda doesn't know what modus tollens is.
Well, yeah.
Because you cannot just deny premise as false because someone thinks because it seems false. This is not
you
how...
need to know why it's false. Because if your initial P statement's false, then your consequent obviously has to be false, because you've messed up with your first one. So
yes.
Jaren, it should be up to Jaren, since Brenda's talking to Jaren, not Nathan Oakley, right? Nathan Oakley's reviewing this. He's not talking to anyone. He's going over the video. We're going over the video of Nathan going over a video of Jaren talking to Brenda. So it should be up to Jaren to go over and ask Brenda why the initial first premise is false. I don't think he does. But like Nathan Oakley's already assigning flat Earth to Brenda, saying that the premise is false.
So the first premise is if the Earth is a sphere, radius 3959. So according to Brenda, strike one, this statement is false. So Earth, not a sphere, radius 3959, as stated by globe Earth believers everywhere. False, you say? I mean, it's one step short of calling it a straw man. But you just flat out say that the statement Earth's a sphere, radius 3959 is false. We agree. Welcome to flat Earth. This is fairly standard fare for Brenda.
Therefore, the argument fails. It does.
So the argument that Earth's a sphere, radius 3959 fails. I see.
It's not an argument that the sphere is a radius of that. Like, we've had loads of people do that. You can just Google it. There's no measurements ever been made, and it's not an argument to say that it isn't, because it, like I said at the beginning, it's all sorts of different radiuses. This argument only falsifies one of them. Or Brenda has to say, not that one.
Yes, but still, Brenda hasn't got it yet. What you are falsifying, but what means? Because modus tollendo tollens means that you are denying. By denying consequence, you are denying P. You are denying conditional. Antecedent, yes, because you are not. So this is indirect denial, not direct. Brenda now is directly denying premise. You don't need modus tollens to directly deny statement, because this statement is this antecedent is denied only by consequent. So we are denying antecedent because consequent is denied. There is no other reason to deny antecedent. But Brenda is ignoring consequent and just straightly denying antecedent. So this modus tollens is completely useless. So it means that Brenda completely, utterly does not understand what modus tollens does, what is for.
Yeah, which is one of my initial problems with this argument, QE bringing this out, is it's too convoluted. It just, you know, the consequent relationship is too hard to follow from the initial antecedent. Nobody can really understand how a modus tollens works by looking at this particular argument. It's too convoluted, and there's too many different variables within it that people don't understand.
Yes, I agree. But still, Brenda had time.
Yeah. I mean, they've had like 3 years now with this argument out there. Even that one that we did yesterday, the modus tollens for what was it? Plumb lines being parallel, and modus tollens for that, I think it was. That was based on the back of this argument form coming around.
But even Brenda, when he was here, like a year ago or something like that, Brenda brought his understanding of modus tollens, which was wrong, and it didn't improve since then. So this is sad that Brenda didn't learn from that time to now. So Brenda still does not understand what is modus ponens, modus tollens, etc. And this is sad.
Yeah. into the break-ins in the chat. I mean, they were allowed to bring refraction in because QE injected a picture. There's no pictures involved in this, but people automatically bring in oil rigs and stuff. There's no oil rigs mentioned in this argument at all. The whole point of the argument is to argue with the facts that you have within the argument. There's no need to bring in any other things on any other variables. That's another one of the problems that doesn't get addressed within any of this. This stuff that we're going over will never be addressed within any form of any discussion concerning this particular modus tollens. It's just a badly formed argument that never really had a chance and was never given the chance because it's an unfinished argument. Too complicated. Too many variables within it. Well, we'll go over and we'll see where it goes from here.
So Earth, sphere, radius 3959 fails, according to Brenda. Well done, strike two. So your claim Earth's a sphere fails. Well done.
Doesn't succeed because
we agree.
It's not true that
the Earth's a sphere, radius 3959, as stated in the first statement, she says is wrong.
Every horizon distance must be no more than 1.22.
That's the geometry of a hill. If I rephrase it to, if you've got...
See, now this is where we start to lose it a little bit. Has anybody ever heard this before within this argument? The horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Has anyone been taught about that being a hill? Small hill.
Yeah. Yes, it is, because it is distance to the hump, top of the hump.
The hill?
Yeah. So Nathan is now talking about hill, but he's really talking about hump. So our distance, if we are 5 feet, let's say, at the beach, so we have hump in front of us.
But it's below you.
No, if you are looking at horizon directly, so you are not looking in horizontal. You are looking down already.
Mm-hmm. But a hump isn't looking down.
Yeah, yes, I agree.
A hill, you don't look down to a hill. Which, Nathan, I'll rewind it just a little bit.
Yes,
you can listen to what Nathan Oakley says. Listen.
Stated in the first statement, she says is wrong.
Every horizon distance must be no more than 1.22.
That's the geometry of a hill.
That's the geometry of a hill. Now, did anybody know that when QE wrote this initial one, that the horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet? Did anybody ever hear anybody saying that is the geometry of a hill that QE has placed within this modus tollens? I've never heard it before. Has anybody else ever heard that be said before concerning this argument?
I cannot recollect, so I think not.
Because you'll hear it mentioned quite a lot now from Nathan Oakley. So whatever occurred in the 3 years from QE making this, or QE and Adam and whoever made this argument, Nathan has developed that 1.22, not to be Rayleigh's criterion and the how far you can see with the angular perspective or whatever. It's nothing to do with that. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? It's got nothing to do with that. It's now a hill.
No, yeah. Yes,
according
physical
to Nathan.
obstruction. And I call it hump because it is physical obstruction.
Well, yeah.
According to the curve or whatever.
Well, that's
But
what
I
Nathan's
don't-
going to say. Yes.
Yeah.
If I rephrase it to, if you've got a claim that there's a hill in the way of me, then the distance to the hill will be X.
So Nathan Oakley is now talking about the horizon being a hill in QE's argument. No wonder he's wanting to get rid of it. See, Into the Break saying it's the globe's claim it's a level hill. It's not. That no glober would ever say that. So I don't know who's saying that they're saying it, because they're not. I've never heard anybody else say anything to do with a small hill involved in this argument. The distance to a small hill is what tells you it's not a globe. I mean, come on. You can try and justify it, but Nathan has made a massive error here. The 1.22 is not a small hill. It's not the geometry of a small hill. At all. And no glober will ever say that.
Yes, it is
You'll never
supposedly-
get a glober to admit that. So whatever Nathan's talking here, he's making it up.
Yes, because this 1.225 square root is about supposedly curvature of the water, whatever. So water at rest on the globe model, not hill. Until he's seeing hills on the water. I don't know.
McWest? Maybe, I don't know what you're talking about, McWest.
That's the claim. You say Earth's a hill getting in the way of boats and buildings.
Who says that? Like Nathan's saying you say that. Go back over it again. Listen, just listen. This is Nathan Oakley from either a day or 2 days ago. 1 day ago he streamed this. And he's saying, you say. Now, who's he saying that to? Listen.
Then the distance to the hill will be X. That's the claim. You say Earth's a hill getting in the way of boats and buildings.
Who's the you that he's talking to?
I have no idea.
No one. No, nobody's going to stand up and say, I'm the person Nathan Oakley's talking about here. When I'm talking about the horizon, I'm talking a small hill that's in the way, blocking stuff. I don't know. But hey, we'll go.
And you say the distance to the hill getting in the way is X.
Who says the distance to the hill getting in the way is X? Does anybody know who says that?
I don't know, but it is not in that Modus Tollens.
Well, QE says it is the horizon distance measurement. So the only person that says there's any distance to the horizon is QE in this argument. So, and you can say it's the globers as much as you want, but it's not. This is QE's Modus Tollens. He's the one that said it, not globers. Now, QE can say, well, the globers say it, but you'll have to find a glober that says it. I've never found a glober to say it. I've never found a flat earther to go over this argument. I've never found anybody to understand what the fuck's going on.
In fact, back in the day, in 2016, it was Glober's argument. So I have heard that.
Back then?
Yes, and like
Not
in
now.
2016, 17 maybe, I don't know, but it was argument. Yeah.
Not anymore. it's not an argument that anybody uses anymore, and Nathan Oakley's about to throw it away and give it to Brenda. He doesn't need it. We will be going over the curve calc into the break. Also, fictitious. Jesse Kozlowski's got his fingers in that pie as well, but we'll get round to that eventually.
Now you're saying that's wrong. Yeah, well, why have you got Earth curve maths that says it's right then?
Earth curve maths. Who's got Earth curve maths? Does anybody know what Earth curve maths is?
In fact, originally it is row bottom. Samuel's row bottom.
Well, I mean, that's still not Earth curve maths. Is it? This is a term that's been made up for this arena. Because the Earth curves are all sorts of different rates. Upwards, downwards.
Yes, but this is for this specific curve.
Yeah, so, but what specific curve, though? Because, I mean, I've been in this arena asking people. You explain it. What's Earth curve?
So from Glober's side, they had already, it was delivered by Samuel Robotham. So this is his drawings, his calculation. This is all, everything is from him.
And he's a flat earther, right?
Yeah.
Right, so this, what Nathan Oakley's going over here, that's got to do with QE's thing and into the breaks talking about the curve calculator, it all comes from a flat earther into the break. This is got nothing to do with any globers. You're arguing against your own people. They make up things to just talk about. It's not real. It's not even an argument. I mean, if you want to try and imagine whatever you want, I mean, you might be talking to globers, and I don't know who globers, which ones you're talking to. I can tell you, I've never had a glober talk to me about anything to do with Earth curve or any measurements or any distances. They just don't do it because nobody knows anything about it. Nathan's got an argument.
It seems like you're taking apart your own claim here, Brenda. You Dumbo.
Right? We have a geometric horizon and we...
No. That's what it's stating you must have, and you're saying it's wrong. So if you now say we do have a geometric horizon, that is the statement being made in the affirmative in this Modus Tollens, and you've just said it's wrong. But
we just went over a clip at the beginning from over 2 years ago where Nathan actually did agree that the horizon is geometric by the fact it's horizontal. And he said in that as well that he's so used to doing these arguments with people that are model afflicted that he falls into this trap, this very trap. He's talking to Brenda about QE's argument that Robotham has made for them. We go.
We do have a geometric horizon. What, like the one stated in the first statement that you said was wrong? That geometric horizon at 1.2 times the square root of the observer side.
That's the second statement. The second premise. The first one. It was if the Earth is a sphere with a radius. States nothing about the horizon being any distance. It's just a sphere.
Yes. So distance to horizon is inconsequent.
Yeah.
In feet, the hill that gets in the way.
But it does say there, though, if the Earth's a sphere, then every horizon distance measurement. Well, in reality, you can't measure an horizon distance. So why is it a consequence of the Earth being spherical that you can measure the distance to the horizon? How'd you check it if you can't measure it?
About some buildings. The one you said was wrong. You got one of them, have you? You double-speaking clown.
We have apparent horizons, and they
Yeah, apparent, meaning you can see them. That's a bit redundant, wouldn't you say, Brenda? We can apparently see the horizon. Yeah, it's apparent we see it.
I don't think that's what apparent means, that you can see it. That Nathan may have that one a little bit wrong as well.
be in different places. In fact, there are at least several.
Sorry, we seem to now be talking about horizons being in different places, which is the end assertion that they can't be hills in the way of things because they're in different places. So I paraphrase again. If you've got a hill in the way, it won't be in different places because it's a friggin' hill. Hills don't tend to move.
Does anyone know where he's going with this? I mean, I'll go back again, just in case I missed something. But he's now talking about the horizon as though it's a hill in the way of the horizon, I think. Hard to tell.
Seem to now be talking about horizons being in different places, which is the end assertion that they can't be hills in the way of things because they're in different places. So I paraphrase again. If you've got a hill in the way, it won't be in different places because it's a friggin' hill. Hills don't tend to move because they're hills. Now, your hill's got a distance to it in a calculation at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet.
So he's talking about the horizon as being a hill now that's in the way.
Yeah, I don't know why he's doing that. But anyway, Brenda's refutation about these horizons is incorrect also, because in Q statement, we have then every horizon distance measurement, this is error, should be calculation, must be no more than. It is not. So this Q statement is not saying that every horizon has to be at this distance.
Yeah.
It's saying that no more than that distance. So Brenda's refutation is also invalid because it assumes, this Q statement assumes that this horizon may be closer.
Well, but there's also another problem, right? Because it says the observer's height. Now, is that your height or the height that you are at, the elevation?
Yes, your height.
But the elevation
from level, yes, yeah.
Right, so that's not really said, is it? It's not very clear.
Not clear. Yes, I understand that
because you're in the argument, right? You've been taught this argument, but anybody outside of this argument, that's unclear. Yes. You can't measure a distance to the horizon, and you're unsure about whether it's the observer's height or a measured elevation. Because if you put a measured elevation in there, then you best be sure that you know how to measure that elevation. That's why this argument develops into a much more complicated, far more variables than you would imagine. It's why, basically, this is a shit argument, basically. But people have been, they've been given it by the Flat Earth debate crew. I've been trying to talk to people. We've discussed it within this Discord server. Nathan Oakley, QE, Adam, Arwin, Brian's Logic, everybody else, they don't want to talk about the flaws within this argument. They're coming out now. Brenda's bringing them. There are many. Sorry, Kevin, did you come in?
I was just going to clarify what you were talking about. Does that mean that if one wanted to actually utilize the second premise of 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, that observer would need to verify by way of elevation change as to what their elevation actually is?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I think that QE and
Oh, paper gone.
Oh, did we lose? Nope. Might have lost paper.
Yeah, still here.
pardon.
You cut off paper.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you did it again.
QE. He said.
Yeah.
QE's got a mute button on you.
Yeah, he's got a mute button on paper. Anyway, paper, you may have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I think another problem in this is even if you're standing at, let's say, the on the beach, overlooking the water, and that's your observer quote unquote height. What is the height of that? What are we talking about? Is it against mean sea level? And even if you're standing at the beach, does anybody know what the mean sea level is at that point?
Yeah.
Because do
where
you
the
know
mean
what the mean sea level
and
is?
where the sea is in
Exactly.
relation to it.
Exactly. Because the mean sea level for elevation purposes may or may not be at the same quote level or height as you are while you're standing on the beach looking out at the ocean or the water.
Yes.
The complexities in this is amazing. Sorry, paper.
Am I better now?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're better now.
Speaking? Okay, so because every horizon distance, so he's referring to implicitly, but not clearly for us, for some people, that he's referring to plane of the horizon effect. So it is above plane of the horizon, or sea level, actual sea level. So, but of course, it is clear for me because I am in that argument. But for people,
Oh my God! Oh Christ! Yeah.
Oh,
True
what's
level
going
bitch.
I don't know.
Discord.
I think Discord might be out. Yeah.
Sorry. Somebody messing about with Discord around us.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, what we've done here is we go over these arguments and we simplify them to make the most simple, right? We do advanced simplicity, where we simplify things as much as possible. This argument is a mess. Brenda's right when Brenda says this is fallacious. It's filled with massive holes.
Yes, Brenda is right, but I think that Brenda doesn't know why it is false.
Brenda hasn't got a clue, and it's all because no one will discuss the argument in order to refine it, to make it better, to improve it, to simplify it. That was to me what logic should be. It should be an argument should be made as simple as possible to get the point across that you want to do. It is very simple to do it with a little bit of training, understanding within a argumentative form. It's quite enjoyable too, and it will definitely help massively in communication with people once you learn how to do these sort of things. But again, I think QE brought this argument out to mess everybody up, because there are some simple arguments that can be made that aren't beneficial to people who have a model affliction, who want to hold contradictions. They don't want you to see the arguments that expose the contradictions. Carry on.
That's your distance to hill measurement. Now you say hill move.
Distance to hill measurement. I mean, what's he doing? This is Nathan Oakley. Where does it state distance to hill measurement in the argument that he's talking about? It's their argument.
He's making analogy, but this analogy is only for him.
It's awful. Terrible. A hill. I wouldn't be surprised if the Globers are laughing at him at the minute.
Yes, because hill is, I would say, topographical horizon.
Yes.
And if he's talking about geometrical horizon and referring to shape of the Earth, he shouldn't bring this topographical horizon as analogy to this geometric horizon. It doesn't work.
No.
So yes, he's messing up.
No, Brenda. No. If you say the hill's moving, then it's not physical earth curve blocking boats and buildings. So you've immediately affirmed the position that this modus tollens is debunking by saying you've got geometry, but simultaneously saying it moves. Whoever's interrupting, shut the hell up.
Saying you've got geometry? Like, isn't his argument, isn't this about isn't 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet? Isn't that geometry? Although the fact that nobody actually knows the geometric understanding of what it actually means, where the triangle is, and where it's related to, how it's related. It's a very strange equation, but this is geometry. This is the geometry that they're talking about.
Actually, I was finished. Go ahead.
Don't they have it marked and labeled?
Yeah,
With a
marked
big
with an
X
X.
on it?
Labelled horizon in the begging the question, proof of nothing, geometric earth curve calculations that state that there is a hill in the way of boats and buildings at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet with an earth sphere radius 3959, precisely as stated at the start of this modus tollens, which she said was wrong. Oh,
right, so this argument that QE's developed, right, is only, I think, a rebuttal to Mick West and Walter Bislin. That's it. They're the only people that should be interested in this argument at all. Everybody else should just leave it alone. QE's made a particular argument addressed to certain people that have made calculators. That should be it. I don't know why QE's brought this argument in this form at all. I really don't. And I'd love to have a chat with him about it. I don't know how that'll happen, but...
Only to then say we do have a geometric horizon, that's a hill in the way, and then say it moves. Ergo, not a geometric hill in the way. She's thick. Just dumb.
Well, we do have a geometric horizon, and that is horizontal. Like Nathan agreed to us. A horizontal is not a hill. So why he's calling it a hill now? I don't know. No Globers call it a hill. I don't know.
Horizons. There's a celestial horizon,
A celestial horizon. So when you say a celestial horizon, is that kind of like Earth curve hills getting in the way? No, it wouldn't be marked with an X labelled horizon and you're begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculation, hill that's supposed to be Earth curve. We don't.
Hill that's supposed to be Earth curve. Now, he's pushing this too much. This is when I watched NASA and they said about the... I can't even remember what it was called. They added that term in. Nathan's using this hill too much. I don't know why. It's like it's a narrative that he's pushing. Please don't take it on that this is an argument. You wait for somebody to say there's a hill there first before you start having a rant at them and calling it a hill. There's only Nathan Oakley that's done that.
We don't have two horizons. We only have one horizon. And your globe horizon was debunked by the Black Swan.
terrestrial horizon.
See, the globe horizon was debunked by the black swan. The hill, the hump, the hill, he's debunked the thing that he's talking about.
Yes, but still, for me, hump is not geometrical horizon, but just topographical, because in globe model, there is no geometrical horizon or apparent horizon. It is topographical. It has to be, because the curve or unequity of the terrain makes topographical horizon and makes physical obstacle. And that physical obstacle is on the globe also. So I would say that on globe model, we would have only topographical horizon. Even it is formed with water. It doesn't matter. It is still topographical horizon.
And they wouldn't have a horizontal horizon, right? Ever.
Yeah.
So we've already established with Nathan Oakley over 2 years ago that the actual horizon is geometric by the fact that it's horizontal. And here's Nathan Oakley arguing about a hill, getting angry about it too, when he knows that the actual geometric horizon is horizontal. You can just sit back then. If you know that for a fact, I don't know what this argument's doing.
There are landscapes, the horizon. There's
But if you are not a clown, go and take a look at the horizon. Notice I said the, because there's only one. Now this numpty's going to now list off a whole bunch of horizons that we don't have.
A visual horizon.
What, the one that's supposed to be blocking boats and buildings because it's a frigging hill in the way, not marked with an X in your maths? That you...
What's Nathan talking about? Because you do have topographical.
Yeah, and this hill would be topographical.
They're always different, right? So there's not just one.
Yeah.
See, again, fail by Nathan. Sorry, Nathan.
You say this isn't because QE is stating that if the Earth's a sphere, therefore wrong. It's your claim, you stupid cow.
Wow.
But the geometric horizon and the apparent horizon.
There is only one horizon. The horizon in your begging the question calculator is geometric.
Are different.
What? It's geometric in reality. It's horizontal already, Nathan. We know that.
Just not the horizon we see, is it? Bit of a problem for you, right?
First premise equivocates. It commits a fallacy of equivocation. Therefore, John's argument.
See, there you go. Now, this is the first time that Brenda's said anything about the actual argument, right? There's an equivocation fallacy. So what's it equivocating in premise one? If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959. Equivocating with what?
Let's hear.
Well, let's see.
Is false. And in fact, I'm going to take it back. This argument is now mine.
Well, the argument that Earth's not a sphere and the first statement's wrong. You take it, love. You
see? You take it, love. Nathan, getting friendly.
Yes. And
So,
by
like,
the
you
way,
can have it.
Brenda didn't state what is equivocated with what.
No.
Here.
But
But
Nathan
still,
just give it.
Brenda
Give it,
likes
take
it because it is paradoxal. A contradiction. Globers like contradiction because they can prove a globe with contradiction. So that's why I think Brenda likes this argument, because it is fallacious. And globers like very much fallacious arguments. They can utilize in favor of the globe.
Well,
I
don't
think.
forget, this is Brenda talking to Jaren about
Yes, I know.
QE's Modus Tollens, right? So there's an extra depth based around this. I think Brenda was trying to play games, and I'm not too sure whether it's working or not. But this is Brenda's argument now. Nathan's handed it to her. So don't get upset if you have a go. We're not bashing QE's Modus Tollens. This is Brenda's. This is Brenda's BS now. Tuck it on.
Own that fact that the first statement that Earth's a sphere radius 3959 is wrong, but you have got a geometric horizon, it just moves. Yeah, you keep it, love. It's yours. It's all yours. Keep it. Yeah, we don't have an Earth sphere radius 3959 as stated in the Modus Tollens because Brenda says it's wrong, and we do have a geometric horizon that, contrapositively speaking, also moves. Yeah, you keep that shit, love.
Could we possibly?
John.
I was going to say, could we possibly give it to her that the surface where the surface level appears to meet the sky, surface or sea level, either one appears to meet the sky.
Also, not in the argument.
That requires a flat plane, though, and it does in the math as well. And is she going to address that?
You can always tell when flat earthers are talking because they call things flat planes. It's like calling things round circles.
Yeah.
Useless. But flat earthers have to do this sort of thing. They have to add in flat wherever they can. So that's the first chance you get. I'll go over the thing. They do a flat plane count.
She wouldn't understand it if you explained it to her today.
Called him she.
Anybody else? Was it chocolate?
Just on that.
Adam?
Is this a debate between Brenda and Jaren?
No, it's a happy-go-lucky discussion.
Well, I'm just curious as to what QE's argument and why she's taking it off. What's that got to do with anything if you're debating a completely different person? Has Jaren presented the Black Swan? Or
just hold on. Right, this question's addressed to QE, but Chocolate, you can go next. And
right, so I don't know what Adam's saying here. Adam's saying, for some reason, Brenda can't use the argument because QE made the argument. It's really weird that Adam came to defend it.
Yes, and by the way,
it's just an argument.
Yes, once it is published, it belongs to everyone. So there is no ownership. You can have originator, but not ownership. As you published something, especially in language, you cannot own. You cannot own logic or language. So Brenda's statement that it is his argument now, it is false, and it is not QE anymore. It is for everyone. Everyone can use, debunk, or reject this argument because it is now in public domain.
Yeah, the idea of the arguments for discussion to be put up for discussion. Yeah. Everyone should be able to discuss it. I mean, I know what happens, and QE will be writing his memos and he'll be calling people to come to this room and get a talking down for talking about it because that's the way it happens within flat earth debate. I've been there. I've experienced it. They don't like people talking about arguments that they've made fallaciously. So yeah, it's hard to discuss it. It's hard to defend an argument when people keep pointing out the flaws in it. So what they do is they silence everybody from talking about flaws within their arguments. This is just one of them, one of the examples.
If he doesn't give an answer, I've got one.
QE's not going to talk about it because
the question, John, if you're there, is why would your argument being placed in front of Jaren, specifically labelled as your argument? That's what the question is, correct, Adam?
And why would you go to debate somebody else to go and argue whether or not you think QE's right? The only thing I can see here is that Jaren and Brenda run off in the sunset agreeing that they disagree with QE. But what's that? If this is a debate, what is it?
That's
Is
how
this
I
is a
took it as well.
loving to
That's how I
attack
took it
flat
as
Earth
well.
debate, or
We've got a big Q. QE if he ever responds, then chocolate, then AI.
Well, QE won't.
I'm eating my breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, chocolate.
So it's Eli. Just a minor point. The celestial horizon is just actually a flat plane with an infinite radius. So
Flat plane.
I want to say that
which has
again.
nothing to do with. Yeah.
Could anyone tell us what a flat plane with an infinite radius is?
For me, it doesn't make any sense, but okay.
You could just say plane, couldn't you? But I mean, that would be far too simple.
No, but still, even if you say infinite radius, it cannot be a plane.
Yeah, it's a
It
circle.
cannot be a plane. Yeah.
Yeah. But there you go. That's Eli. Don't worry about it. It fits in quite well with the flat Earth thing. It's crazy, but yeah.
You know, the horizon we do see. So
Okay, so when she details the celestial horizon, you're saying that she's detailing the horizon observed on the flat plane that is the equatorial plane at the center of their globe Earth, that is a flat plane. Is that correct?
Flat plane again.
well, not even from the equatorial plane. The celestial horizon is actually just where you're standing. That's the plane. The around you, that's infinite.
Did he say the horizon's where you're standing? Like, let me go back, because this is one of the things that gets me. When people just say things and you hear it and you think, what? But you can't interrupt them. You can't say anything. So let's listen to it.
Well, not even from the equatorial plane. The celestial horizon is actually just where you're standing.
Yeah, the celestial horizon is actually where you're standing. Really?
Doesn't make it, for me at least, doesn't make any sense.
No.
Either.
But he said it. Nobody picked it up.
That's the plane. The around you, that's infinite.
A flat plane, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as you confirm it's this non-existent flat plane term, then everything's good. Like, you just come up with some bullshit about an infinite radius. Doesn't mean anything. But as long as you say it's a flat plane to Nathan Oakley and we can all agree it's a flat plane, we can just go and get along with it. Crazy.
AI, go ahead. Thank you, Eli.
Oh yeah, I was just agreeing with the sentiment that there seems to be a push, and let's just call it a certain side, quote unquote, where they want to go through all the arguments that are alleged to be owned by, let's say, FED, and then make
the arguments that are alleged to be owned. Nobody owns arguments.
No.
Nobody
Public
owns
domain.
them.
Once you have said something in public domain, it is no longer your. You are losing ownership, or maybe better to say you are sharing ownership with others.
Yeah.
So it belongs to everyone since then.
them either not prove anything or be disproven, right? So in other words, the FED panel's arguments are essentially just a waste of everyone's time, right?
The FED panel's arguments are a waste of everyone's time. Come up with them. Let's know. This is the only one argument that I think I know of that's in true argument form. It's got massive flaws in it, and Nathan Oakley's just handed it away, given it to Brenda. I don't know how many other arguments they have.
Like there is that sentiment going around. It's like, well, Nathan's wrong, QE's wrong. Let's get together with the Globers and agree together that they're wrong. But the arguments I have are right. So it's a play for ownership in a sense.
A play for ownership. If that doesn't tell you what's going on with the FED crew, that they want to own arguments, can't be done. They're just words formulated in a certain order to make them either fallacious or true statements. The idea of an argument is to form a proof, which is a truth at the end of it. Now, if you make an argument that ends up with a truth, everybody gains from that. There's no point in saying that's mine. You can't use that. That's ridiculous. But this is Flat Earth Debate crew. This is what they're doing.
Man, I love
Well, let's see what Jared does about it.
Told you.
Neil, then Roto, if that was Roto, or Jorge, I think it might have been.
No, I'm disagreeing. He's right on the money. AI is on the money.
I keep mixing up your names. It's just 'cause I can't hear very well at the moment. That's all. Is that Jorge?
No, that's all right. It was me, George. Yeah. I'm just saying. I wonder how well Jared is gonna debate this argument, because this is a flat Earth proof. Let's see if he's capable of.
Proof.
Not a flat Earth proof.
Oh, it's not a flat Earth proof.
Wow.
It was the #1 flat Earth proof,
Yep.
wasn't
sure was.
it? For
Yeah.
over a year.
Till the sextant came along.
And now it's not a flat Earth proof. I wonder why that is. No wonder Nathan wants to get rid of it.
Sorry, I have to defend, let's say, FED or even QE, because sextant argument, they say it was the first positive argument for flat Earth. This is what Nathan Oakley said.
Really? So what was this one then?
So it wasn't for positive argument for flat Earth. So, in fact, now he is just repeating that statement that it is not. And he is correct, of course.
But are you sure that it wasn't this the Modus Tollens? Wasn't it?
We're going to have to.
Flat Earth proof?
Yeah. We're going to have to go back and verify
Over
that.
a year.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that completely.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone somewhere said something that I didn't catch. But from my knowledge, the first positive argument was sextant argument, and this one, this so-called black swan, wasn't positive argument for flat Earth, just to debunk sphericity of Earth, which is not true also, because it does not debunk.
They said it took away the ball. It got rid of the radius. That's what Nathan Oakley said. This argument. But I mean, like, we can go over that at some other point. I mean, we all know it's fallacious. It's not a true argument at all. So it never did what it was purported to do. But for over a year, this was the #1 argument for flat Earth. In favor of flat Earth, right?
Yes, in favor, but not directly. And while when Nathan Oakley now is saying that it is not proof for flat Earth, it is, for me, at least for my knowledge, it is not contradictory to what he said before.
Well, okay, like we all know, there is no proof for flat Earth, and there is no proof for globe Earth. We've said that for quite a while, right? But I think it has been claimed to be. But I mean, we'll see if anybody can come up with any statements that Nathan's called it a proof of flat Earth.
It's not a flat Earth proof?
No.
Oh,
he doesn't sound very confident there. Like, listen to his words, the way He's forced into saying this, I'm pretty sure.
Not a flat Earth proof.
It's not a flat Earth proof?
No.
Oh, it's a globe debunker, yeah.
Load. Yeah. So let's just go through it as she did. She butchered it, so I'll do it on her behalf. Don't need it in front of me to read it off. I know it by heart. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every distance to the horizon can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Distance to horizon is beyond 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet in the black swan imagery. Therefore, the Earth is not a sphere and the horizon is not Earth curve. That's got nothing to do with flat Earth.
Well, I would argue that see, when you say flat Earth, this like, well, I would argue that it's exactly that, because it's a true dichotomy. Either the Earth is curved or it's not. So if it's not a sphere, then it is flat.
That's correct. After the modus tollens concludes, you are left with a true dichotomy that only has one outcome. What is the alternative?
So it is.
And now
So he's just done exactly the same as what Brenda did last night.
And now Nathan is wrong.
Yeah.
Because, of course, his statement that it is not proof for flat Earth, of course, it is true. Even this fallacious conclusion is saying that the Earth is not a sphere. So it doesn't mean that it is flat. But because modus tollens is not proving something in dichotomy, and that's why Elijah is going to help, and Nathan is catching this bite, let's say.
Well, it hasn't. Like, Nathan's just agreed with Elijah there.
Yeah, yes,
it
I agree.
hasn't falsified the sphere. It's falsified the sphere of a certain radius. This is where they go wrong all the time, because QE got his not P false statement. Nathan hasn't picked up on the fact that it's not falsified a sphere at all.
Yes, but even if, let's assume for the sake of argument that this conclusion, which is false, is not false, and the conclusion is true that the Earth is not sphere. So now Elijah is making a dichotomy, which is false dichotomy, because saying that the Earth is not a sphere does not imply that is flat. It is not dichotomy.
But he said it was a true dichotomy when he was making up his false dichotomy.
Yes, but he's wrong.
I know, that's what everybody has to be aware of this, right? Although these people are saying these words and other people are agreeing with them, i.e. Elijah and Nathan Oakley, they might not be true. They're just saying words. It's up to everybody else to see how arguments work and see whether there is actually a true dichotomy or whether it's a false dichotomy.
Yes, because true dichotomy between Earth is, on other side, is not Earth. No, sorry, sphere Earth is not sphere. This is true dichotomy: sphere or not sphere. Because if you have sphere and flat, it doesn't mean that you cannot have something in the middle. For example, cube or conical or whatever. So you don't know that sphere versus flat is true dichotomy. Because if you have other options and you cannot say that you don't have, so you cannot state that it is dichotomy. And but inside argument, modus tollens is cancelling antecedent And so we have negative statement. You cannot create negative to negative, because negative sentence means that negative antecedent means that Earth is not a sphere with that radius. This is conclusion from that modus tollens. So opposite of that and contradiction to that would be Earth is a sphere, like stated in this antecedent. So you cannot create another dichotomy to that, because it is a completely outside of argument. He's completely wrong, and I think that Elijah also doesn't understand how modus tollens and modus ponens work.
Which is the whole point about what I've been trying to talk about. I mean, we in this server, right? We've studied these arguments and the modus tollens and modus ponens, modus ponendo tollens, all sorts of different ways of forming these arguments together. Whereas I'm not too sure how far other people have looked into the, argument forms and whether what a true dichotomy is. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the Earth not being flat by the measurement of elevation changes, which Nathan Oakley dismiss, falsifies the flat Earth. So it's pretty obvious that there is at least one other option within that it's neither flat nor globe. There is a chance for that, at least.
Yes, but this is from other argument. But inside this argument, true dichotomy is that the Earth, spherical Earth with given radius, and contradiction to that, the spherical Earth without that radius, or not spherical. This is dichotomy, not flat Earth.
Well, that's what he's doing with the dichotomy. The true dichotomy is afterwards. They're coming up with a lemma, right? That this thing it's not got this radius, but they're taking that as being not a sphere.
Yes, but even if you say not a sphere, it doesn't create dichotomy with flat Earth. It doesn't. So it is still not dichotomy. And this is what Elijah does not understand. And previously, Nathan Oakley agreed that it is not a positive argument, but now he is like convinced by Elijah that it is true dichotomy. It is not. It is not true dichotomy.
I think he might have to just do is appease him with a couple of flat planes and he'll be able to get away with it.
Maybe.
Here we go.
As far as you are concerned, it is flat in that true dichotomy you see. But that's regardless of whether or not that's right or wrong. That's an inference after the fact, isn't it, Eli?
Yeah, I see.
Right, therefore, the modus tollens itself is most assuredly not 104 people watching. Woohoo! Not a flat Earth proof. It's a globe debunking. That's what it does. Yes, you can take it and go, well, what am I left with? Yeah, it's got to be flat then. And then you can talk about celestial navigation, which is a...
Wow.
Okay, so he admits that it is... Okay, so now he changed his position.
If it's not that, it must be flat.
Yep.
Yes, in lemma, but still it doesn't follow. No, it is not true dichotomy. No.
Here comes though. Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, I've rewound it a bit so you can hear it.
Flat Earth proof. It's a globe debunking. That's what it does. Yes, you can take it and go, well, what am I left with? Yeah, it's got to be flat then. And then you can talk about celestial navigation, which is a flat Earth proof.
Celestial navigation is a flat Earth proof.
I would say that celestial navigation is even less proof than this modus tollens.
But not according to Nathan Oakley, right? So he's jumped out of, what'd you say?
Out of the frying pan into the fire?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's Nathan Oakley. He's done that to himself. He's done it many times. All because I think they don't understand the argument. And not just the argument. Any argument. Like the idea of an argument and where it leads. The idea of your argument, first off, is to start at first principles and give yourself a solid lemma to then build upon. That's all you should be after. And to work with that lemma. And that's a first truth statement that you can work with. Hopefully we might get round to it in a few years. You never know. But, I mean, we'll just carry on doing what we do. There's going to be a lot more of this sort of stuff from now on, though, because it's got to beyond a joke, really.
Also a globe debunking, because it doesn't work on a sphere.
It's also a globe debunking. That's celestial navigation. Doesn't work on a sphere. Well, tell McToon that. Get it sorted. Get it over and done with. Sort it out.
But the beauty of
horizon means
the reason I'm pointing this out
as well.
is because of one of the aspects that's so beautiful of this Modus Tollens, which is that when an idiot tries to attack it, like Brenda has just done, she starts off by asserting her own claim, but because it's come from Quantum Eraser, addressed to Jaren, yeah, figure that out for yourself. It's her telling the audience how wrong asserting Earth's a sphere radius 3959 is. Okay. That's great for you, the numpty. I mean, we took the piss out of them in the first year because they would say, it's a straw man. The first statement in the Modus Tollens is a straw man because we don't have a geometric horizon. It's refracted. It's like...
First statement? I mean, what? What's Nathan talking about there?
He's talking about Brenda because Brenda said at the beginning that this is strawman.
Yeah, I know, but he said the first statement about the distance to the horizon. It's not. Like, within the argument, the form of the argument, the P statement is the one that comes first. And that doesn't say anything about the horizon. I'll go back over it again so you can hear it.
I mean, we took the piss out of them in the first year because they would say, it's a straw man. The first statement in the Modus Tollens is a straw man because we don't have a geometric horizon. It's refracted.
There you go. The first statement. Because they don't have a geometric horizon. Well, we do have a geometric horizon. In reality, it's horizontal. You don't need this argument to rebut that claim. It's ridiculous. It's got nothing to do with this argument that you don't have a geometric horizon. I don't know why they let people get away with it. Sort your argument out and then discuss the argument. Don't discuss other things that aren't even within the argument. It's terrible.
It's like, come again? Yeah, that's correct. You don't have a geometric horizon and your maths depends on it. It's a hill getting in the way that you absolutely need and you're claiming is real.
Right. Does anyone want to try and have a go at debunking that? Or not debunking it, but just sort of unpacking that statement? I'll go over it again, just so you can hear what Nathan's saying. Try and understand it. And try and put yourself in a position of somebody that's never been around here, right? They're coming into it thinking, wow, I've heard about this flat earth stuff. It seems a bit intriguing. I'd like to come in and understand. Oh, you've got an argument, right? Let's have a go. So what does this argument sound like?
Because they would say, it's a straw man. The first statement in the Modus Tollens is a straw man because we don't have a geometric horizon. It's refracted. It's like, come again? Yeah, that's correct. You don't have a geometric horizon and your maths depends on it. It's a hill getting in the way that you absolutely need and you're claiming is real. But you say you don't have one, therefore this is a straw man. Welcome to Flat Earth. Brenda took it one step further.
What does that mean? That's just vacuous statements of shite with an ending statement of welcome to flat earth. Well, if that's welcome to flat earth, you just leave somebody in confusion. Not got a fucking clue what it means.
She just said it's wrong. Oh, Earth, the sphere, radius 3959. Wrong. Okie dokie, Dumbo.
I'll go one step further and say that we don't have a geometric horizon in
But we do have a geometric horizon in reality.
the Earth curve maths. That's a line of correlation drawn between the observer's height and the differential between two flat planes of the amount of information lost. So, yeah, we don't have a geometric horizon.
Was that the sound of a Lamborghini or a child screaming?
I thought it was the sound of a baller in pain.
Nah, it's more like a V12. You're going to need a flat Earth for that.
This is Nathan's latest thing. You're going to need a flat earth for that. You need a flat earth for everything, I think, because, I mean, it's his sales thing. Him and Dave Weiss, they have to do this. They're tied to it, right? So, if premise 1, axiom 1, call it whatever, Tis Globe. This is just Nathan Oakley's version of Tis Globe.
You can't have it anymore. Globebusters cannot have this argument anymore. It's mine.
But Globebusters can't have it anymore. They never used it, probably never understood it in the first instance. But you mean Ballbusters, right?
Yeah, she mix it up like I mix it up all the time.
It belongs to me.
Yeah, you can have it, love.
You can have it, love. You can have it, love. Just handing it away. Yeah, there you go. It's shit. Why do we need it? Have it.
Your explanation for it that it's wrong. You can keep that. Yeah, good. Keep saying it. Good. Put your name on that version of it. No worries.
It is not yours. It is your argument is fallacious, and it does not prove what you claim it proves.
It debunks. So you think it's a proof of something? No. It takes apart the positive claim, but you said the positive claim was wrong before you even took the first step. So what do you think it's proving? It's debunking the notion that Earth's sphere radius 3959. Like I say, you've already said that's wrong, though, right?
Oh,
well,
now he is correcting. Now he is stating correct conclusion.
But I mean, isn't Brenda right? If that argument 3 years ago debunked that number, would Brenda be right in saying it's not that number? Because that number's been debunked by that argument. That's all Brenda's saying, isn't it?
Maybe.
In his own way, right? To work around it, but I think that's what he's saying. Like, it's just not that number. Pick a different number and we'll go again. It won't be that one either, but I mean, you could do that to infinity, couldn't you? Just pick a different number.
What an idiot.
It's mine. I took it from you.
Good girl.
Guys, is that it?
It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're talking about me for.
Right, so now this is Jaren's rebuttal to all of those points that Brenda's just made for that argument. You've probably forgotten about all of the different points that we've just pointed out, but let's hear what Jaren's coming up with. Forget he's doing his colouring.
Specifically?
I think Jaren needs to be at least 20 times louder. More gain, Jaren, more gain. You definitely need to be louder than the guest. At least 20 times. 20x the loudness is ideal, I would say. Right, is that it? Is there any more garbage from Brenda? Can we get her ugly mush off our face or our screen or what?
Hold on, let's hear Jaren.
Oh, right, you want to hear him? Oh, okay.
I think that Rumpus has something to say in YouTube chat about
Rumpus
argument.
Can come in here anywhere.
Yeah, but he's saying the same stupid things.
Oh, we
about
didn't know what an
argument.
argument was, even though we've made all of the arguments. Rumpus. Terrible.
Stungeon.
Stungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of flat earthers claim
You're just gonna have to give me a minute while I sort out a few compressors and shit to sort out Jaren's audio nonsense.
What?
You'll come yourselves for just a second.
Has anybody ever watched that video to work out that Jaren? It sounded all right to me. I haven't watched it. Didn't have any
Maybe
problems with it at all.
Maybe he is slightly louder, but for me it is no problem.
Yeah.
I've heard Brenda very well, so no problem.
Thanks for that. I'm really glad you did that. Kept the dead air.
Black Swan. I am formally taking away all flat earther rights to the Black Swan. The Black Swan now belongs.
So, do you think that this is what you do? Is it, Brenda? Go around taking ownership of things? Okay, love, you do that, and that will achieve what exactly? Oh, Brenda says she owns this. Do you think I'm going to disclaim that when I take apart a baller? I mean, if it was you, Brenda, it is currently. I'd point out that you saying the statement that claims your sphere is true is wrong would be laughable. But you think you're going to take ownership of this? Oh, you do that.
To me.
Thank you for
It's
that.
mine, and you can't use
Thank
I
you.
agree, Jaren. Thank you. Thank you for that, Brenda.
Can you mute yourself, please, for a minute? Thanks. So
thing.
the problem with that is that we can use anything
Can,
that we
can
want.
you pause for a
Yeah,
second?
go on.
These last words, when Jaron started to talk, I would say that Brenda said that you cannot use that.
The argument.
Yeah. Can you
So
rewind?
flat earthers can't use it.
Yeah.
You
he
saying the
said to-
statement
Go on.
He said to
claims
Jaron
your
that
sphere
you
is true
cannot
is wrong
use
would be
that.
laughable. But you think you're going to take ownership of this? Oh, you do that.
To me.
Thank you for
It's
that.
mine, and you can't use
Thank
I
you.
agree, Jaren. Thank you. Thank you for that, Brenda.
Can you mute yourself, please, for a minute? Thanks. So the problem with that is that we can use anything that we want. I'll particularly use the Black Swan for what I
Yeah. Jaren said, I'm just going to use it. It's an argument. Like, why should anybody say that you can't use it?
Yes, so Brenda said that you cannot use that, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous, of course.
Taking it away from flat earthers, he said.
Yeah.
think it's good for. Why do I like the Black Swan? Because the Black Swan proves without any shadow of a doubt that the horizon is not what the mathematics of the globe Earth tell us because of
Right. So Jaren says it proves that the mathematics of the globe Earth, it proves that the horizon isn't what the mathematics of the globe Earth tells us. Anyone know where the mathematics of the globe Earth is? That tells you where the horizon should be? I'll tell you
Samuel
there isn't.
Robotham.
Yeah, that's not globe Earth, is it?
Oh, yeah.
That's Robotham.
I was gonna say you probably find it where you'll find them in the same aisle as globe geometry.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, even Jaren has played into Nathan's hands here by giving him it's a proof of something against globe claims. Well, there's no globe claims that state the geometry for the horizon. The only geometric statement that can ever be made about the horizon is that it is horizontal. That's it. The plane of the horizon is horizontal, right? The horizon can be any shape because it can be topographical, like we've just expressed. But the true horizon over water will always be horizontal, and the plane of the horizon is horizontal because all horizontals are parallel to it. That's the only geometric thing you can ever say.
Fraction because of variable conditions, because of everything.
Good summary. It's not what they say it is, a hill in the way. That's correct. Good summary.
They've never said there's a hill in the way. I've never heard anybody say that other than Jaren. Ever.
Summary. Anybody Anybody care to say that Jaren doesn't understand the black swan? It's not what
Thank
they say.
God.
Very good,
Like,
very good.
I really wasn't hopeful. Thank freaking goodness, man. Because I would have definitely, I would have labeled him just somebody who's on a hate train. Because, I mean, jeez, thank you.
I need to inform you guys that part of this progress is that Neil has secretly been praying for him in the background.
Oh, shut up. Right. Props. No. Let's just get it straight. Props. Credit where credit's due. Overcoming the next stage of it, refraction, that's a different story. He may or may not be at that stage. He is now excelled above 99.9% of ball believers. His knowledge is absolutely above Brenda's at this stage because he's just hand-waved her garbage based on the fact, no, it debunks the hill in the way. He didn't say that. That's how I phrased it. I'm paraphrasing intentionally to keep my words distinct from Jaren's. But he understands it. Good. Excellent. Props. Kudos. Credit where it's due.
Horizon is an apparent position. To make any claim with the horizon,
a little bit redundant. The horizon is by definition an apparent location where the sky meets the ground or sea. So to say it's the apparent horizon is to say it's the apparent position where the sky meets the ground or sea.
Is fallacious to.
Did Nathan just have a go at somebody doubling up on something? Like flat plane, for instance. Nobody's ever pulled Nathan up on the flat plane, but saying that apparent horizon is a bit too much for Nathan all of a sudden.
Yes, I don't know why he's criticizing Geran when he is affirming his own position. I don't understand that.
It's almost as if some people have to argue for no reason.
Yeah, I understand that Nathan Oakley doesn't like Geran now very much, but it doesn't mean that he has to.
Well, he did just praise him.
Yeah.
For knowing that, I don't know, it gives a proof that something against the globe geometry that nobody's ever done. There is no such thing as globe geometry or globe maths. That's fictitious and it's been made up by flat earthers. You'll never get anybody to talk about it because it's just made up. Sorry, that's just a fact.
Say, oh, and look, it bends. Oh, look, it curves. Oh, look, here it's flat. Oh, look, here it does this. Is to not pay attention to the definition of the word horizon and what it means, and that it's in an apparent position. It can never be pinpointed as the horizon is there or it's there unless you're going to use the mathematics, in which case you can say that the geometric horizon is so-and-so. That's what the black swan does, is shows that the geometric horizon is not at the distance that the mathematics of the globe Earth call for. That's
precisely. Well done. Oh, God, man.
See, that's not what that argument does. It states, the argument states that the globe guys have a geometric horizon at a certain distance. They don't.
Yes, they do, but this is not geometric. It is topographical. They have hump.
They
And
don't.
the top-
That's the thing. I mean, we've been doing this for years now, right? We have pointed out the dichotomy that's set up. You either have the double nutsack drop and the hump, right? There's a paradox because you have to have both of them. Yet, no one will ever say that. Because they can't say it. Because they don't have it. It's not real. It can never happen.
Yes, I agree that this is not real. But in their model, I'm referring only to their model.
I know, but
not to
we
reality.
have to point out that it's a not that. And this is why there's problems in all of this. Because Nathan's talking about an argument against a not that. And they're always going to say, not that. And you can say that you're in with a flat Earth arena, right? But the people making up the globe arguments within the flat Earth arena are the flat earthers. The flat earthers come up with the contradictions for the globe model, and they put them to the globers, and the globers say, not that. Every time. Round and round and round and round forever. Here's what should happen on your globe. No, that doesn't happen on my globe. That's it. So the globe maths has been set up, like we said, with Robotham. It's set up by other people. It's not globers that do it.
And I feel the relief washing over me, Jaron. Oh, wonderful. Yes, precisely. It needs to be a hill in the way of the boats and the buildings at a physical geometric measurable value in feet and inches blocking them, with its hill-like nature in physicality. And the Black Swan shows that ain't the case. What?
See? Needs to be a hill. It doesn't show that it... I don't know.
Absolutely
Terrible.
masterful summary, Jaron. I commend you.
That's what the Black Swan does. You have 1 minute. Final word.
Oh, well,
And further props for the casual, dogged assurance that he absolutely implicitly knows what this does and doesn't do and how it works. Over to you. You got 1 minute. You see, when Jaron's good, it's absolutely epic, isn't he? Tell me that wasn't epic. Come on, someone shout me down. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me this isn't worth
No,
it.
there's hope. Hold on. There's hope. 1 second. There's hope for Jiren.
See, I'm gonna have to come in here now, right? Level bastard, thank you very much. This argument, they keep calling it a black swan. Right? So what is the white swan within this? Somebody give me the white swan that Nathan Oakley or QE or Adam Meakin or whoever is going to give with the black swan, right? So give us the statement, the white swan first. What's that statement?
They haven't got white swan.
No, but what is? If it's a black swan, right? It's called the black swan. Right? So in order for them to present a black swan, there has to be a white swan.
They cannot present white swan.
Right. So how is it a black swan then?
It is not. It is white swan.
Nobody knows. That's the fallacy within this. QE's called it a black swan, yet no one can state what the all swans are white equivalent is. And then you'd have to be able to hand them over this argument that would be giving them the black swan. Because that's what it's called. QE's called it that. Nathan Oakley's called it that. That's the simple terms in what's going on here. And it doesn't seem like anybody can come up with that. So I'm not too sure how this can be deemed a black swan if nobody can state what the black swan is that makes it separate from the white swans. And if it's something to do with a measurement of the horizon, well, there's no such thing as a white swan with a measurement to the horizon.
And by the way, this black swan is about only disproving categorical statement, like all swans are white. It does not disprove that all are not white. So it disproves only all, this single word all. Nothing more. It does not disprove that all are black. It doesn't prove that all are black.
No, it doesn't. No. That's not the idea of a black swan. The black
Yeah.
swan is just showing that, look, here's a black swan as a rebuttal to the statement that all swans are white. But for this to be the black swan that QE calls it, you have to have the statement what all swans are white are, the equivalent, for you to hand them the black swan. I think Into the Break's trying to do it, but it's about the measurement to the horizon being no more than, and you can't make that measurement to the horizon. So how can you make a measurement that's different than the measurement that you can't make for the white swans?
That's the thing that's getting missed. You're right, Bev. Is if you just look at the white swan argument as in, or the black swan argument as in all white swans, and an observer may say every swan I've ever seen is white, therefore all swans must be white. And you find a black swan, well, you've just disproven that other thing. But in order to have something to disprove, you have to have something that you think is proven. And there's no way to ever prove that 1.225 times the square root of the height of the observer in feet. Can't measure the distance to the horizon. So how is it a white swan?
Into the Break says the hidden height is what's being debunked with black swan. What hidden height?
No, he's talking about this bottom-up obstruction. This this part which is covered by, in fact, the hump of water.
Then that's optics, right? Not measurement.
I would say calculations. You can only calculate that with that
Calculate
model.
what though?
This obstruction.
You can calculate an obstruction but can't measure it.
Of course, yeah,
Well,
I agree.
You can't have arguments about calculations.
In fact, back in the day, it was globers versus flat earthers were just arguing about that numbers. Yes, that was the case in 2016, let's say, or 17. So they argue about numbers. Oh, it has to be hidden by 20 feet. But, oh, no, but with that model, with that radius, it has to be obscured that number of feet. And that was discussion about. Yeah.
Yeah, they did tests on refraction. Yeah, we saw all of that, optics. But
No,
none of that's within this argument.
It was even before refraction. And then if the numbers were not correct for globers, they invented this refraction, or rather reinvented, because refraction, so-called refraction argument from globe side was...
I mean the tests that they did. And I'm not talking about Jesse or anything. I'm talking about actual surveyors. They did refraction tests to deal with all of this stuff. Nobody's bothered looking into it because everybody's been talking about flat earth and globe earth. But they seem to have forgotten about actual reality and the methods that actually get used in reality. That's why there's such a problem here, right? I'm not talking about a flat earth argument or a globe earth argument. I'm coming at this from reality. And these arguments that are being made are purposely being made from flat earth or globe earth. And like you said, they they'd already decided what numbers had to be used and all of that. But those people that decided that are the very same people that are telling you that this is a straw man argument, and that's a good argument, and that's a bad argument, and you're not allowed to use that one, and you're not allowed to use this one. Well, we're talking about reality, not flat earth and globe earth arguments. Because if that's all you're doing, we may as well just dismiss all of this. All of it.
Yes, I agree, but Jaron, Brenda, and Nathan Oakley are inside this
yes,
numbers.
Yes, but we're not.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
And I don't. I'm not interested in what setups they've made within their circular arguments. I'm not interested in them at all, because they're not relevant to this. We've just got to dismiss that and come at these arguments from afresh, from new, from real. If they've decided within themselves the dimensions and all of that of these models that they're going to argue with, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. We're just talking about reality. Now, if these guys, the flat earthers and the globe earthers, if they get upset that they say, well, we're not making those arguments, well, yeah, you're not, because you're fantasizing with a group of people that have decided a circular argument. That's not what we're doing here. We're just pointing out the fallacies that they've got within their arguments. And if other people can't see them and they want to keep him involved within the flat earth argument, then fair enough. Keep going with that. Don't come round here telling us that your flat earth arguments are getting upset and we don't understand the flat earth argument side, where they're coming from. Because it's not reality. Yeah, you're right. I'm not interested in it.
Now, celestial navigation goes hand in hand with that. I do have some hope.
Right. He's just annihilated Brenda's...
No, there's hope. One second. There's hope for Jiren. Now, celestial navigation goes hand in hand with that.
Come on. To you, you've got 1 minute. You see, when Jaren's good, it's absolutely epic, isn't he? Tell me that wasn't epic. Come on, someone shout me down. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me this isn't worth
No,
it.
there's hope. Hold on. There's hope. 1 second. There's hope for Jiren. Now, celestial navigation goes hand in hand with that.
Right.
I would say that Jaron was wrong, but okay.
Yeah, well, Jaron was wrong, but what Neil's saying is that celestial navigation goes hand in hand with that. Well, how can one be not a proof and the other one be a proof? And they're going hand in hand. It's almost as though celestial navigation is coming on the back of this lemma from the black swan. The QE's, obviously, it's not a black swan because there's no white swan for it to be a black swan for. I don't know how you can have a black swan. Like, if you just walk around and go, look, there's a black swan. What does that mean? If nobody's ever made the statement, all swans are white, then pointing out that that's a black swan means nothing. I think that's the point that was getting missed here.
I do have some hope.
Right. He's just annihilated Brenda's 3-minute waffle. He just took it apart in 25 seconds.
The only problem I see is
Go ahead.
The only problem I see is he's given them mathematics for a globe. I've yet to see those mathematics. So we can work on that, though. He done really well.
Man, you really are nitpicking. But yeah, I mean, once you understand that premise, which he clearly does, you can apply these to the horizontal requirements of the differential between the eye level and the sea level in their maths, But that doesn't actually give them an Earth curve edge, as you explained at the beginning of this show, right, John?
Right. Right. There is no mathematics for a globe. It doesn't exist in math either. Like that's my point. Like
weren't they just claiming mathematics earlier? Now there is no mathematics for the globe.
In this Modus Tollens, there is.
Yeah,
present.
QE's wrote it in there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know what that refractive curvature is talking about. It's hard to tell what's going on and who understands what arguments. This is their argument from 3 years ago, the number one flat Earth argument. And they're all over the place. They don't even know what it is. It's called a black swan, but there's no statements about white swans. They talk about measurements that can't ever be measured. And now they're saying that there's globe mathematics, but there isn't any globe mathematics, and nobody's ever given them, even though QE's fucking wrote them into the argument that he's calling a black swan. It's a mess. We have been saying this for quite a bit. For anybody listening, anybody still listening, we've been saying this for quite a bit, and nobody wants to talk about it because it's inconvenient, obviously.
there is no model. It doesn't exist in math. It exists only in the misinterpretation of mathematics.
Type of argument, right? It says from the claim all swans are white, all you have to do to refute that is to produce one swan that is black. And I have shown that the claim...
It's not just black. You can have a swan of any colour other than white. Would refute the fact that all swans are white.
Black swan is a fallacious argument, and therefore it fails.
I'm not going to take her apart based on a baseless assertion. Jaron's already done that for me. As I say, the relief is brilliant.
At falsifying the claim that all swans are white. Moreover, it equivocates. It sets up a straw man. It is not the case that all horizons must be 1.22 times the square root, and so on.
Did she just say that if just because you observe a black swan, it doesn't mean that all swans aren't white? Is that what she
What's
just
the
said?
logic? Yeah, she's rather than taking apart the Modus Tollens at its base, which she attempted and Jaron dealt with quite effectively, very effectively. Now she's on to Karl Popper and doing a bloody awful job of that, because now she's got the analogy with swans. And it's like, if the assertion is that all swans are white, this is the Karl Popper Modus Tollens, then you only need to show one black swan to prove that not all swans are white. Now, in the case of the comparison to horizons, it's the assertion that all horizons are hills blocking things. Because
there you go. There's your all white swans from Nathan Oakley. I'll put it again, right? He's doing the Karl Popper thing. So that bit that we've just talked about white swans and black swans, this is Nathan Oakley expressing that within this argument.
To prove that not all swans are white. Now, in the case of the comparison to horizons, it's the assertion that all horizons are hills blocking things.
There you go. Who's ever heard that statement before? That's possibly the first time that's ever been said. And it's 3 years after the fact that QE called his thing the black swan, where there's no fucking black swan. But now the white swan equivalent is that all horizons are hills blocking things. Anyone ever heard that?
That would be this. Then every horizon should be, etc.
It's not hard to do that, is it? You go,
Yes.
look, there's a horizon. It's horizontal. hills are not horizontal.
Yeah, I agree.
There's your black swan for the claim that all horizons are hills blocking things. Easily refuted. Didn't need this 1.22 bullshit at all. This is the problem with it. The argument's fallacious. Brenda doesn't understand why it's fallacious, and Nathan Oakley's just gonna keep avoiding the fact that it's not really an argument to start off with. Terrible. I'll go back again just so you can listen to the white swan claim.
To prove that not all swans are white. Now, in the case of the comparison to horizons, it's the assertion that all horizons are hills blocking things, because it's Earth curve. You've only got to show once that it's not a hill blocking things to disprove that it's Earth curve. That's how the Modus Tollens translates through Karl Popper with swans, hence the name of the image in this example. The picture itself was dubbed the Black Swan. Why?
The picture. What picture? What picture? There's no picture in the argument that he calls a black swan. It's terrible. It's so far out of being an argument, and Nathan Oakley's plucking things that aren't within the argument to support the argument.
Yeah, it is. And when Brenda was presenting this argument, it is written that it is 9 miles or whatever, and it refers only to this picture, because from that picture it is taken that number, this 9 miles or whatever. So I would say that it is as refutation, but it still doesn't work as modus tollens, because
you know about the picture. This is, don't
No,
forget,
no.
this is on a debate thing that 5,500 people have watched.
Yes, I agree.
But there's no picture in the thing.
Yes, I agree. Yes, there is no picture, but it is reference to that in that statement that there is more. When Brenda was presenting this QE screenshot, there is statement that the horizon is 9 miles or whatever. So it is not picture, of course, but this is from that picture allegedly calculated distance to horizon.
Yep. Where he's called the Black Swan a picture. So now
No,
people are out there thinking the Black Swan is a picture of some oil rigs.
Yes, and this is fallacious because also because if in consequent he has that every horizon, it means all horizons must be. So you cannot bring Black Swan. You can, if you are bringing only one, you are bringing all. So this modus tollens would rather prove impossibility. And this is not Black Swan. Proving impossibility is not bringing Black Swan. So that's to say.
Right, we go. Nearly done.
You only need to show once that a hill that's supposed to block oil rigs is behind the oil rigs when assuming it's a hill. Therefore, it's not a physical hill getting in the way of oil rigs. Obviously and observably not a hill getting in the way, because it isn't getting in the way. So it's not a hill, it's not Earth curve. Go ahead, John.
See, I don't know whether I've ever heard of Earth curve being a hill before. Don't know why Nathan's suddenly brought this up. It sounds ridiculous.
I think that this is his analogy. This is how his mind is operating, and he thinks that it is good analogy. Okay.
It needs to be explained a hell of a lot more, I'd say.
Yeah. Especially for audience who cannot catch quite. It may be clear for people like me, for example, but for new people, clearly not.
Yeah. That's all I'm thinking of is people that are coming into this arena getting their heads filled with... I mean, it'd seriously mess somebody up if you thought that was an actual Modus Tollens and it's a black swan, a picture of some oil rigs somewhere, that proved a flat earth or it disproved a globe. I don't know. It just seems it seems as though it's just going to confuse people, and that's not what you want in this arena. What's dishonest into the break? What are you talking about? Bev, that's dishonest. Hill and drop. You've asked this repeatedly. What? What? I don't get that.
Me too.
Into the break. If you want to come and talk about it, come in and talk about it, please. Don't just write comments that mean nothing. I mean, that's about as it's got as much clarity as this stupid argument that they've made up that nobody has ever used in any chat room. Like, if you're talking to somebody out there, and if, let's say you are a flat earther, right, and you're trying to convince somebody of your flat earth, right? It is flat. How is it flat? Well, the horizon isn't a hill. Like, what do you mean? How does that prove that it's a flat earth? Or, well, it doesn't prove it's a flat earth. It disproves the globe. You haven't heard anyone claim level is a hill. No. Well, Nathan Oakley, I've heard Nathan Oakley say that level is got nothing to do with the topography, right? So Nathan Oakley, yeah, they measured the mountains flat. Nathan Oakley said that. So hills, the hill that Nathan Oakley's talking about, he said that Al-Biruni measured mountains flat. So could that be the hill that he's talking about? The one that Al-Biruni measured flat? I don't know. It's all obfuscation of crazy shit. No, into the break, I think you've imagined me talking about something, but you haven't actually discussed it with us. If you want to come in and have a discussion, please do. It might help us put a bit of clarity to this. You can try and use this argument on us and see how well you do. Like, pretend we're just noobs. And you convince us of the flat with this argument with QEs.
Well, that's the thing, though. She just attacked that just because you have a black swan doesn't mean all swans are white. That's the position she's taking. That's madness.
Not exactly.
Or to rephrase it.
What did he say? Let me get that back.
Just because you have a black swan doesn't mean all swans are white.
Just because you have a black swan doesn't mean that all swans are white. What? I'm going to have to go back a little bit more, I think.
It's not a physical hill getting in the way of oil rigs. Obviously and observably not a hill getting in the way, because it isn't getting in the way. So it's not a hill. It's not Earth curve. Go ahead, John.
Well, That's the thing, though. She just attacked that just because you have a black swan doesn't mean all swans are white. That's the position she's taking.
Just because
Mm.
you
He's making wrong negation.
Mm.
Literally, he is right, but he is expressing in wrong way, because he should say that because we have one black swan, it means that all swans are not
white. Yeah.
But he is saying that it doesn't mean that all swans are white. Yes, he's right, but this negation looks like incoherent. He's right, but he's expressing in wrong way this negation, because his negation refers to swans and not to all. That's why it sounds ridiculous.
To the break, come on in. Let's Oh, VC verify you. You should be able to get in there now if you want to come in and have a word. We should be verifying, but I don't think there's anybody to verify you. So just pop on in and we'll sort that out some other time. This is nearly over anyway. There we go.
That's madness.
Not exactly.
Or to rephrase it, just because it's not a hill getting in the way once doesn't mean that tomorrow it's not going to be a hill getting in the way.
See, how does that help? I'm not too sure Nathan's understanding what's going on here. Just because it's a hill not getting in the way once, like, this is Nathan talking about the Karl Popper white swan, black swan thing. Listen again.
That's the thing, though. She just attacked that just because you have a black swan doesn't mean all swans are white. That's the position she's taking. That's madness.
Not exactly.
Or to rephrase.
If you do have a black swan, then obviously all swans can't be white.
Yeah.
So I don't know what refracted curvature is talking about, but then Nathan Oakley's to clarify.
Just because it's not a hill getting in the way once doesn't mean that tomorrow it's not going to be a hill getting in the way.
Yes, so
That's
he's
crazy.
dismissing the black swan because if this hill was moving, then you can say about you can talk about black swan. But if this hill is not moving, it's always there. So you are not creating black swan. So Nathan doesn't understand that he is not proving a black swan argument here with this hill, which is ridiculous. But anyway, they both, I would say, refracted curvature, and in that case, Nathan Oakley doesn't understand what black swan is, and he doesn't maybe understand also that it doesn't apply to this modus tollens. Doesn't apply. Just it.
Yeah. There we go.
Right. This is so remember we talked about in the past that they retconned their claim. So once the black swan came out, they just changed their claim that all swans are white to swans are any color.
Yeah, it might be Earth curve blocking the boat and building today. Tomorrow, it might be a refraction beyond the geometric limitations of an Earth.
See, what Nathan's not pointing out here is that is the blue marble scientific method, to accept all contradictions that get given to them. And it's the job of the flat earthers to hand the globers these contradictions, which they will accept and integrate into their model, to make, I don't know, it's a never-ending cycle. So the idea should be really to use the advanced simplicity, get simple arguments that everyone can understand. Then you can see how the rebuttals to these simple arguments are absurd. We'll
sphere
get there
radius
in the end.
3959, and the ground has been unbent to match the observation and not blocking whatever it is we thought it was blocking, because now everything beyond 1 mile is a slightly looming non-standard refraction highness hologram of the things that you thought you were seeing in completely different positions.
See, I'm thinking of new people. That just sounds crazy. It's no wonder that flat earthers sound mental.
As is always the case. So you're not really seeing oil rigs at all. They're mirages.
You missed it.
Right, or
At
to
best, you
form the
debunked the
argument.
radius.
Yeah, to form the argument, the way they retconned it is, we never claimed the horizon is geometric.
Except that their geometric R value to base the refraction they're claiming came from Al-Biruni measuring a geometric horizon at one.
Crazy.
Never claimed
listen to it.
the horizon is geometric.
Except that their geometric R value to base the refraction they're claiming came from Al-Biruni measuring a geometric horizon at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet with no refraction. Therefore, his claim to get R to infer 7/6 of it in their refraction, or any derived value thereof, would require that they have a geometric horizon to measure in the first instance, as is claimed to be done by Al-Biruni. Do I hear the sound of a Lamborghini?
This is Nathan about to do his ridiculous claim again. The Al-Biruni trick, which again isn't involved in this, and it's got nothing to do with this argument. I don't know why Nathan's mentioning it. Maybe something to do with the flat mountain, measuring mountains flat.
What's that sound?
How did he Al-Biruni do that?
A clever trick with an angle, Nathan. That's how Al-Biruni did that. He did a very clever trick with a single angle. And as we say, you can do fuck all with an angle. Yet Nathan Oakley's defended that one too. So you can't use that rebuttal. Let's hear, Nathan. Let's hear what you're going to do to this.
Neil, come on, you can be that Ferrari. Get in that Ferrari. Lamborghini.
He needed a flat plane for that.
You needed a flat plane for that.
No, he did a clever trick with an angle that you can't actually use now, Nathan. You've lost it. You've completely lost the Al-Biruni thing. And Al-Biruni did not need a flat plane. He just did a clever trick with an angle.
Yeah, he did. That measurement of a geometric horizon they say they never claimed they'd measured or seen, or anybody would claim to be able to see, is the very basis of their R measurement from Al-Biruni.
An angle measurement, Nathan, that he very cleverly tricked everybody. He got an angle. That's it. Al-Biruni measured an angle. An angle on a stick, but still, just an angle on a stick. If you want to talk about perfect maths, have a word with Fight the Flat Earth. But don't come at telling us about this, Nathan, that you can do fuck all with an angle and turn it into a flat plane that you're going to need. Fucking ridiculous.
Where he claims to see a geometric horizon and measure the differential actually between surface level and eye level with an astrolabe.
An angle.
Moving on.
Within 5%.
Within
Bev,
5%
can I
of the
ask
measurement
you,
they've
what,
never measured,
what did
yeah.
you mean by fight the flat Earth for perfect math and pertaining to Al-Biruni?
We'll have a chat after this. I don't want to do it live, right? I've got it set
Okay,
up. We'll
yes,
do
sir.
it live, right? This is going to finish pretty soon, and then we'll talk about it, all right? You got a little bit of time to stick around with. I'll get this over and done with, and then I'll explain it to you.
Right? That is simply false. The argument is fallacious and therefore it should be direct.
Yeah, we heard you the first 3 times, Brenda, when you said that it's fallacious and that it should be attributed to you. We got all this.
Reject.
Maybe address Jaron when he said, "Nah, it just debunks that it's a hill in the way." That's what it shows.
He didn't say.
You gonna ever get to that, or just power it off your same crap? It's just rinse and repeat, stuck record style.
It belongs to me now.
Sorry, do we need to hear this 4 times, maybe 5 times? You can have it, love. Yeah, you've got it. You got it. No worries. Yeah, it's not right. The first statement, Earth sphere radius 3959, wrong. You got it. No worries.
No flat earther can use this. It belongs to me.
What? No earther can do what? No, Brenda, you're not the arbiter of what people do. I mean, while you might delude yourself into this power trip, no. What's that? I can't use it because Brenda says so. What? Should I tell her to suck?
Thank you. All finished.
And of course,
we can quote Brenda anyway.
What, when someone says, hold on, is that the Modus Tollens argument? Yeah, we know. Brenda already debunked it. She said that the first statement's wrong, so we might as well just stop there because Brenda's taken ownership of the argument. We can't go any further. Brenda says that the first statement's wrong. Yeah, Earth not a sphere, welcome to flat Earth, according to Brenda, if we use her argument. Okay. Are you good, opponent, with just saying that Earth's not a sphere, radius 3959? Because Brenda says that's wrong. Because she owns that, you know. So you can blame her.
You're having fun. That's fine. You're allowed to have fun. I'm not going to stop you. All right. Let's go with my third claim. Is going to be that global earthers will not give up on arguments no matter what.
Right. So that's it. That's the end of the. Jaron goes into a different argument. So that's the end of the Brenda taking the QE's Modus Tollens. Remember, it is only one Modus Tollens. There are billions of other arguments that can be made, and especially Modus Tollens. Modus Tollens is an argument stating not that. That's why Karl Popper made these arguments for its falsification. Sort of what Socrates did with the Elenchi. Somebody has to make a claim first, and then the Modus Tollens can go to work to falsify the claim. But in order for that Modus Tollens to work, the claim has to be made. And it's a little bit hard to tell what the claim for this Modus Tollens was in the first place. If it's something to do with a measured distance to horizons, then it's fallacious because you cannot measure distances to horizons, either in reality or on a model. Doesn't matter. Can't do it.
And by the way, Black Swan is a falsification categorical statement. And in the Modus Tollens, you don't need to make categorical statements. It's just P and Q. P not necessarily has to be categorical statement. So it does not mean that every Modus Tollens is a Black Swan. No, it is not. Maybe, but not necessarily.
Yeah, it has to be an all statement or every statement to be made into a Black Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's many other arguments to be made. And hopefully people can get into the actual making of the arguments, because that's where debates are, within the formulation of the arguments and the discussions of arguments. It can be quite fun. It's not shouting at people and getting angry. It's discussing arguments to come up with a perfect argument, really. Because at the end of a perfect argument, you have a proof, a truth. And truths only exist in reality, because you can't have a truth existing outside of reality, because you can't confirm it. There can be no argument made, because there can be no experiment done to validify the argument. And that's what we're after. We're all living in reality. Well, okay, so I want to get into this discussion. Please come into Discord if you want to get in Discord. Click the link. Come on in. We're going to be going over a few arguments and stuff. Anybody got a buster? What do we want? Who have we got? Anyone got any?
Should have had
True level.
I should have had something prepared.
True level. We've not had true level. True level, bitch. There you go. We've not had that for a bit. Okay.
That's my favorite.
Thank you very much. We're going to be doing a Jesse Kozlowski one. I think I'm going to have to. I think this is the Jesse Kozlowski redo.
Oh,
it's about time, isn't it?
True level with Jesse Kozlowski.
Just Jesse Kozlowski. Right. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow is Free for All Friday, and it should be a lively one, hopefully. See you then.
Yes, this is basic geometry. Your flat Earth geometry. Flat Earth geometry. This is basic geometry. I called you a flat earther.
My name's Ramsey.
Insisting that your flat Earth geometry will work.
I'm familiar with the bubble, Morty. I also dabble in precision, and if you think you can even approach it with your sad naked caveman eyeball in a bubble of air, you're the reason this species is a failure, and it makes me angry.
Did he say a five-sided square question mark?
You're a universal horizontal waterer.
You're drunk.
I called you a flat earther.
You want to experience true level? Do you? Yes. You want to experience true level?
That auto level is establishing a horizontal. That's just the way it is.
Because I've done the test with an auto level, which gives you a horizontal.
Yeah, it's gonna look super flat.
All right, come on. Wow, it's so.
Three coplanar points.
Oh Christ! Yeah, true level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
If you're into math, there's a certain shape where you could make a five-sided square.
Are you suggesting that horizontal can't curve?
Oh, everything's crooked. Reality is poison. I want to go back. I hate this.
What's his deal?
Morty. Go to school, Summer. I'll go in Morty's memory and do a little.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe. He eventually just gave up and said, yeah, I agree, it's a globe.
Geodesic is a continuous string of infinitely small straight lines.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
It's pretty flat and level now.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
Lance to the cosmic slaughter! Well? You seem to be in charge of what I get to remember. Why? Good question.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
I'll go in Morty's memory and do a little.
Burn right to the ground in pieces. But from the ashes come.
Wow, it's so. Oh my God! Oh Christ! Yeah, true level, bitch.
If you're into math, there's a certain shape where you could make a five-sided square.
Ranty, come on, that's a globe.
level, bitch.
Wow, it's so. Oh my God! Oh Christ!
Yeah, true level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
True level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
True level, bitch.
I called you a flat earther.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
When you get to the end of this test and you have a result and you say level is horizontal and everyone says big whoop, that doesn't prove anything about the shape of the earth, will you then say yes it does?
No.
No. Okay, I'm going to bed. Right.
Okay, so
I'm going to bed.
That level is horizontal is good for you then, right?
I agree. I agree. Level's horizontal. All
Sweet.
right,
true level, bitch.
Perfect.
Wow.
Nice, mate. I came in just for that. You flipped it, man.